Being authentic is essential to reinventing yourself. I'm going to tell you why in this video. How's it going, reinventors? I'm Amelia. This is Reinventing You, the channel where you can be inspired to take your own reinventing journey so that you can live a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose. I post twice a week, and I am glad that you are here. Today's video is almost live. I really considered doing a YouTube live video, but then chose not to. And I've decided to film this on my phone, which I don't normally do, mainly because my new old computer takes so long. And I have some great ideas and some videos that I'm working on right now, but they're not to the point of filming. So I said, well, I will go ahead and talk about today's subject in this video. I'm going to use my own phone, but I realized in the process that I really needed to do a selfie mode on the phone, which is not the best quality video. The better quality is with the regular lens on the back of the phone. However, mainly because it is an unusual way of filming, and my cats are being really bad and they're running around and they kept shaking, and I didn't know where my tripod was going to end up or where the phone was going to end up. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to do selfie mode. I think you understand that is just the simplest way to get this video to you. I want to talk about being authentic. And this is a really important subject for me, and it's something that has come up in other videos. I really admire and follow Sunny Lenarduzzi. She is a Canadian. She's done a lot of videos on how to do YouTube videos. I've even taken a course from her. She does things on Instagram. She's lots of Instagram stories and everything, but then she does tutorials on Instagram. She's awesome. But one of the things that happened within the last month or so was that she really felt like she needed to be herself, and she's had a really big backlash. She came on, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that, and talked about how social media was detrimental to being yourself and being truly who you were. And she decided she's going to be herself and not put on, pretend like everything's fabulous and all this kind of stuff. And she talked about it in terms of all the racial injustice, in terms of all the racial injustice, that's right, and the systemic racism that's being talked about right now. And she just felt like she needed to be true to who she was and be herself, and not just a talking head, an entrepreneur and an influencer, and not be who she was. And she really did get a lot of backlash from it. She had a lot of people who unsubscribed, unfollowed her, and made comments on her YouTube feed and Instagram, but she really felt like this was the thing she needed to do. I have a link to the first video she did down both in the description and the comments if you want to check that out. I thought she did a really good job in explaining herself in an authentic manner. It really got me thinking about the fact that when I started my own journey, it was about being authentic. As a pastor, when I was pastoring a church, I often found myself being inauthentic. Part of that was I did not want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like I wanted to be an impartial person. Like, these people believe this way in politics and these people believe that way. And I had to find a Christian middle. Or these people disagreed on that and these people said this, and I had to be, that, I guess, impartial kind of person without really revealing how I felt personally, how my Christian thought process worked, how Christ had convicted me, how the Holy Spirit was leading me. And let me tell you, if you live like that, whether you're a Christian, whether you are not a Christian, if you are constantly being inauthentic, it is like it eats at your soul. It really does. And I knew that if I continued to do this, that I was going to get into some bad habits and bad, trouble. And it has been really hard to continue to be an authentic person, because I still have people that I'm friends with who are either from that church or another church, or they've been following me on Facebook or some other social media. And it's hard to say this is who I am without worrying about hurting people's feelings or, trying to, not rock the boat or whatever. But I really feel like as more I'm on this journey of reinventing myself, that I have to be true to who I am, that I cannot be somebody that everybody else wants me to be. In fact, the definition of being authentic says this, and this is from Merriam-Webster. There's actually 3 definitions. The first one is in 3 parts, and it was more about being an authority, right? But I liked the other 2, and the other 2 were authentic, not false or imitation, or true to one's own personality, spirit, or character. True to one's own personality, spirit, or character. And I realized that definition was good for me because that explained why it was eating at my soul. If being authentic is part of your spirit and you're not authentic, then you're going to be chipping away at who you are and who your spirit is. And so that was very hard. Now the camera is just about to shake because the cat is underneath it, but I have my handy spray bottle. So if you hear a noise, if the camera shakes and hear a noise, that's what it is. I have to keep an eye on him. I lost my train of thought thanks to that cat. One of the things that I also did is I saw a quote by somebody who is a personal growth leader, teacher, author named Barbara de Angelis. And I personally, I guess I'd heard of her, but I didn't know who she was. And she said this, and I really liked it. And because this is a different kind of video, I won't be editing like I normally do. You can find this quote in my comments and in the description as well. She said these words: "We need to find the courage to say no to the things and people that are not serving us if we want to rediscover ourselves and live our lives with authenticity." To me, that just says it all. That says we have got to say no. When people want us to do certain things their way and it goes against who we are, then we have to say no. When circumstances around us seem like we have to go one way and it's against who we are, then we must say no in order to rediscover, relive, reinvent ourselves to the person we are meant to be. I think about being authentic, and it is so hard when you're on like this, on a channel, on YouTube, on social media, because there's a tendency to turn the filter on and you got to be in full makeup or do your hair, which I kind of did my hair, by the way. Funny fact, I actually cut my hair yesterday. And it was this part right on the sides because it was driving me absolute bananas. And I'm still going to probably trim it a little bit more because it's driving me nuts. But today I started doing it and I was like, if I don't get this video done, so I stopped playing with my hair to put the hairband in. And so maybe next time you'll see whether you can tell the difference in my hair or not. But anyway, as I was saying, we tend on social media to put this front of being perfect or having this beautiful life or everything's great and it's filtered, and it's not who we are. We have become accustomed to being inauthentic. But if you're going to reinvent yourself, you have got to be yourself. You have got to be who you are. And that's part of the reinventing process. And you are not going to have joy, fulfillment, or purpose, or find your purpose if you're not authentic. You're not going to know what your purpose is if you're not who you're supposed to be. Excuse me. Clovis. You're not going to have joy if you're eating away your soul by being inauthentic. You are not going to be fulfilled if you are not yourself. You're going to be doing something or being whomever everybody wants you to be, who everybody wants you to be. You cannot do it. In order to be authentic, in order to reinvent yourself, you have got to be authentic, is what I should have said. In order to reinvent yourself, you have got to be authentic. You cannot be somebody else. You cannot be living toward anybody else's expectations because you are reinventing yourself. It's got to be you. That is the key. If you find yourself not being authentic at this very moment, I need you to stop and think, why is that? How can you be your authentic self? What things or people do you need to say no to in order to be your authentic self? It is not easy. It's going to take courage, but it is the right thing to do in order to find joy, fulfillment, and purpose. If you are in the process of reinventing yourself and you either find yourself being authentic or don't find yourself being authentic, or if you just are wondering how being authentic has to do with if you are, the cat is shaking the camera, so I got distracted. If you are in the process of reinventing yourself, I want you in the comments below to say whether or not you feel like being authentic has a place in your reinventing process. I want to hear from you. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I invite you to do that. And don't forget to share this video with somebody that you think is struggling with being authentic themselves. I wish you well on your reinventing journey. I hope that you're being yourself. Have a great one.